One mistake might mean the ball game.
We've said it a couple times, but this is great to see, the enthusiasm here in the gymnasium. I mean, these people care about this ball game.
Yeah, this is how I remember it in my tenure here at the high school. PW, Abington, Bishop Kenrick, all those games, we always had crowds like this and enthusiasm like this.
There's no question that it has dropped off in the past several years, and I hope that this year, this game is an indication of that it's picking up.
I'll tell you what, I think all high school sports have dropped off a little bit throughout this area, football as well as basketball. Not only Norristown, even PW is showing signs of the crowd diminishing a little bit.
Queenan shooting 1-and-1, rolls around, but it falls for him. So it's a 4-point Eagle Lead, and Wayne Denson enters the ball game for Michael Simpkins. That's 20 points. Make it 21 for Darren Queenan. Round the hoop. 5-point lead. Howard takes it in. Pardon me, Jones. Follow up by Minnick, and he rams it through the hoop. Brady Minnick now with 10 points after only having 2 in the first half. 4:04 left at 64-61 Eagles. Queenan looks for the jumper, decides against it. Hadrick, nice pass into Denson. Denson off the glass, won't go for him. Followed by Queenan, followed by Wise. And Wise gets the basket. Good position that time. Before that last basket by Grady Minnick, we had 10 straight Eagle points. And PW throws the ball out of bounds.
What? This is a time where you can't make mistakes like that.
Darren Queenan's got 20 points to lead the Eagles, followed by Wayne Wise with 17.
Every bad pass could mean another basket for the other team. They got to be very careful at this point.
Norristown ahead, 66-61. We've got 3:22 to play.
I'll tell you what, I think very soon you might see John hold that ball out. If Hank's going to sit back in that zone, you only got 3:19 to go. If Darren converts these, you got a 68-61 ball game. It's a 7-point lead. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if John pulls the ball out.
I think PW made a mistake there, fouled the wrong person, because Darren Queenan's a fine free throw shooter.
He sure is.
Of course, as soon as I say that, he misses one. It's the law. It's the law of broadcasting. As soon as you say something, just the opposite occurs. And Darren goes 0 for 2, so didn't hold up to what I just said about him.
There's another bad pass, another turnover.
That's got to rattle the PW players. They've got to get upset about that.
At 2 times down the court, PW doesn't even get a shot on the basket.
And Hank Stofko takes a timeout, and I think it's the right time for it. We've got 3:10 left to go in this ball game, and all of a sudden, Norristown's ahead by 5.
Alan, do you have the timeouts for this half? I don't know whether.
I think each coach has taken 1 timeout so far.
Yeah, they each have 1 left then.
Well, let's see what each coach is going to do. I think Stofko is going to have to pressure the ball. Although it's only 5 points. He can't get too carried away and have his fellows make unnecessary fouls.
No, but I think you'll see a change in his defense soon. He's not going to stay back in that zone and let Norristown just pass the ball around. He's going to have to put some pressure on the ball.
And Norristown with possession and a 5-point lead going into the final 3 minutes of play.
And he's bringing his zone out a little bit and put some pressure on the ball. He hasn't gone out of the zone yet, though.
Queenan down to Bishop. Bishop looks for the jumper, needs some help. They're putting a double team on it, whoever's got the ball. Queenan, got to be somebody open. PW can't get the steal. There it almost was. Wayne Wise picks it up, got the basket and the foul. Nice play by Wayne Wise. And that's not what Hank Stofko wanted, obviously.
I'll tell you, Wise plays with a tenacity that's really something. He is hungry. He wants that ball.
68-61, Eagles with a chance to open their lead to 8 points. Big free throw for Wayne Wise. 3-point play, the score 69-61. 2:43 left to go in the ball game. Wayne Wise playing an outstanding game for Norristown. He's got 19 points. Oh, the lob pass to Minnick won't go for him. Rebound by Darren Queen, and it's going to be a foul against Plymouth Whitemarsh. That was a pretty play. Minnick just couldn't get the basket down.
Yeah, he didn't have the right angle on that. It was a nice play, but just like you say, he didn't get it down.
And Darren Queenan had great position on that rebound. I think it was Colin Aline getting a little bit aggressive. I'm not sure down there on the foul.
That couldn't have been Aline. He'd have been out.
That's right. He'd be out of the game. All right, in the 1-and-1 situation, Darren Queen makes the first half of it. So it's 70-61, a 9-point Eagle lead. Darren Queenan misses the second one, but Stan Hadrick, Queenan gets it back, puts it up, won't go, but it'll go to the line again. That's 5. 5 fouls on Howard Jones, and he's out of the ball game.
I'll tell you what, I think Norristown's for real. They beat some good teams. They beat a good Kennewick team. They beat a good PW team here, I think. It's not over yet.
Yeah, let's not close the door on PW yet. Oh, rolls around and it goes in.
It looks pretty good at this point, but you know, they took Williamsport, a real good team, down to 4 or 6 points up on their home court. They beat some good basketball teams. I think they're going to do well this year.
In this past quarter, Norristown has outshot Plymouth Whitemarsh 18-2. The long jumper, no good. And Norristown comes away with the ball again. Stan Hadrick, nice play, pulled up on that ball and got it out to Frankie Dobbs. Dobbs has some problems, triple team, takes the shot, and oh, and it goes for him.
Again, I can't say enough about the guards for Norristown.
With 2 minutes to go, the score is 74-61. Norristown's obviously got their biggest lead of the ball game. They're playing fine basketball here in the fourth quarter. Simply outplaying PW.
It's like some of the starch has been taken out of the Colonials right now, I'll tell you.
What happened to Stackhouse and Intrari, the fellows who started the ball game? We haven't seen them the whole fourth quarter.
I'm sure Hank has some reason for not having him in there, but I would think Stackhouse would be one that you would want there.
Keith Herbert makes the first one. So it's a 12-point game, 74-62. We're just under 2 minutes. Second one off the hill of the rim. Minnick almost had the rebound, but he looked away too soon. Norristown comes away with the ball. Wise, oh, that's traveling, folks. We had that one right in front of us in living color. Definitely traveling.
He got a little anxious here. I'm sure he'd have been better off just pulling it up and giving it to a guard. Tell you what, I never saw a big guy that didn't want to be a guard or a guard that didn't want to be a big guy.
Sure. Well, you go inside. That wasn't a very good move that time.
Wise makes another steal.
Norristown looking good here. Hadrick gets the ball up to Wise. We've got a 3-on-2. Gives it to Queenan. Queenan's going to take it in. Smart play by Darren to go for the layup instead of trying to jam that ball.
He's still, in my mind, takes the ball up to the basket better than anybody I've seen in a long time in Norristown with his power moves.
Norristown just
up there with 2 hands.
Norristown just let him have that basket, 76-64. With 1:15 left, they throw the ball out of bounds here.
It's a steal by Hadrick.
Oh, nice play. Wow. Oh. We've got a foul back here on number 13, Keith Herbert, but what a play by Stan Hadrick. Makes the steal behind the back to Frankie Dobbs. Frank converted it, but unfortunately it doesn't count.
That was a heck of a pass.
Wow. 1:06 to go in the ball game. It's 76-64.
There's only one way he could have gotten that to Dobbs, and that's the way he did it, right behind the back.
Oh, Stan bangs it around and it falls through for him. And Norristown obviously is just dropped back on defense, letting Stan Hadrick be the lone player up at that end of the court. And Stan makes 2, and that's about the ball game, folks. It's 78-64 with 1:06 left. Norristown just dropped back in that zone. Look at that outside shot, won't go for him. They fight for the rebound. Oh, How's it like to have Wayne Denson and Darren Queenan up there above you when you're trying to make a shot?
That's a lot of weight coming down there. You know, and Lane took the foul, though. He didn't say anything about it.
We've only got 57 seconds to go. Norristown ahead, 78-64. And just a fabulous fourth quarter for the Eagles. Aline shooting 2 makes the first, and while we have a moment, I want to mention this game is being brought to you by the Norristown Area School District. Sam Galbraith directing for us. Andre Wills and Dan Coughlin doing our camera work tonight. Aline makes the second shot at 78-66. Up court to Denson. Denson can't get the alley-oop. Ball hits the baseline. It'll be PW's possession with 53 seconds to go.
Can I safely say that Norristown beat PW?
I think so.
Well,
I think
my
this
prediction was right. I went with the Eagles.
Oh, nice outside shot by Minnick. I think it's a little bit too little too late, I think is the expression. And Minnick fouls Queenan. So with 40 seconds to go, it's a 10-point ball game, 78-68. Well, Bill, you said the game was over 3 minutes ago, and I think it is. Minnick pumped that jumper in, looked good there, but
like you
with
said,
only 40 seconds to go in the game. And that's all for Grady Minnick. 5 fouls for Grady. I'm sure a frustrating game for him, but what are you going to do?
I'll tell you what I like to see. The game was played with a lot of intensity. The emotions got a little bit high. Tempers flared a little bit. But now that the thing's close to being over, Grady fouls out. All of Norristown players would always said, nice ball game. That's a good sign.
Glad to see that.
When you're inside the lines, those 32 minutes, you play hard. When it's all over, just remember it's just a game.
It's the way it should be. Nice block by Simpkins. Fighting for the ball, we're going to call it on Frank Dobbs.
Tell you what, I think something should be said about the officials too. I think they kept the game well under control when things got a little bit hot. And that's what experience will do for you too. Ruffino's been around a long while, so is Pensevine. And they can keep a game under control.
33 seconds to go, 1-1 the situation here for Selwyn Fair. Fair rolls the first one in. Steve Bishop into the game for Frank Dobbs, who just fouled out. Can't make the second one. They fight for the rebound. Wise comes away with it. Double teamed. Can't get it away. Bishop's got to get the ball up court. Let's go. Let's go. Get it across the timeline. There it is. Wise down to Queenan. Charging foul going to be called against Wayne Wise. That time PW had position. 18 seconds to go in the ball game. 78-69 the score.
John just told us, Phil, no foul. There's only 18 seconds to go. Take a miracle for PW to win it now.
From the outside, that's number 23 for Plymouth White Marsh, and we don't have a 23 on our roster, so that gentleman, we give you credit. 2-1 at the buzzer, in and out. Final score, 78-71. Norristown High victorious here over the Plymouth White Marsh Colonials. We'll be back in just a moment with a wrap-up. Final score, 78-71, and Norristown High comes out of a very intense ball game as the winners tonight. I was impressed by both clubs. I
was too. I tell you, each time I see Norristown play, I see something different that I like about them. I think tonight when they went down 5 or 6 points early in the fourth quarter, they didn't fold. There was a point where PW had the momentum, the crowd was with them. They had a couple dunks by Minnick, and it looked like the PW might pull away, but Norristown settled down, dug back into the game, and next thing we know, they what 20-2. They outscored PW, and the game was almost over at that point. I think it was a factor of Norristown getting hot at the right time. Norristown played good basketball at the end of the fourth quarter. I think both teams had their spurts where we saw PW ahead by 7, ahead by 9 even, and Norristown just got back into the flow at the right time, as we said, with that 20-2 spurt in the fourth quarter.
That's right, and as Bill had said, you know, tonight we saw another facet in Norristown's game, their ability to come back when they're under pressure. PW could have blown this game open. At one time, they even opened up a 9-point lead, and it could have swung either way at that point. John Cresswell, I know we were saying, why didn't he call a timeout? Yet he let the team keep going there, and then they went on to that spurt. So it's just another part of Norristown's development tonight. Okay,
Norristown, after this ball game, both teams have good records. Both teams are playing well in their conference. But I think this non-conference game, the way they played tonight, it obviously meant so much to them. And I think that Norristown having a victory here is going to go into the Triangle Club tournament and also to the rest of this season on an emotional high.
Yeah, this is the first, not first year, but I guess second year or third year that Norristown hasn't been in a league with PW. But it didn't make any difference tonight. The game was a typical PW Norristown game. The crowd was here. The kids were psyched. You know, they wanted to win as bad as they would want to win if they played a league game.
Well, we've said it many times, but it was interesting. You have a game where two teams who are in the neighborhood, they know each other, they've played each other for years. The fans came out tonight. With the new league system, the Suburban One League, let's face it, we see a lot of teams that people have never heard of before, and there is no interest there to get people out of their homes and here to the Norristown High Gymnasium.
That's right, not too many fans want to venture out in the cold weather to see the Ben Salems and the Chamonix, and you can't blame them, but you give them a Kenrick, a Wissahickon, like what we're going to have in the Triangle Tournament, and of course you have PW here, and you can hear how vocal this crowd was. We might have had just a few more people in here for the Bishop Kenrick game, but this crowd, as far as the decibel level, was incredible.
It was a fantastic game. Go ahead, Bill.
I'd like to say something about the tournament. I happen to be co-chairman of the Triangle Club tournament this year, and we feel we have 4 very competitive teams. Saturn has a good ball club. They look to be a possible winner of the Bucksmont League. Of course, we've got Bishop Kenrick coming back, and Wissahickon has a real good ball club. So we expect to have a real good tournament this year, and we'd like to have the fans come out and support us.
Definitely. We're looking forward to that as well. We're going to be bringing you all 4 Triangle Club tournament games here on Norristown Cable TV. Let's run down the scoring for you. For Norristown High, leading scorer, well, no surprise, Darren Queenan with 26 points. Followed by Wayne Wise, who played an outstanding game with 20 points. I was very impressed by Wayne Wise. Also, Frank Dobbs from his guard position knocked in 14. We have Mike Simpkins with 10, Stan Hadrick with 6, and Wayne Denson off the bench with 2 points.
For the Colonials, Darren Stackhouse, 14 points, but you have to point out that 12 of them came in the first half, and Stackhouse was pretty much shut down by Frank Dobbs and Stan Hadrick in the final stanza. Then you had Colin Aline, who played a very good game, 13 points, and then the surprising one, Grady Minnick, only 12. Sure, he had 3 slam dunks that really turned the crowd on here, but the key factor, once again, he only had 2 points in the entire first half.
Yeah, he didn't produce much the first half at all, and that's not Grady Minnick's game. He usually is scoring quite a bit.
Okay, and running down the rest of the scores for PW tonight, Howard Jones, 8 points all in the second quarter when he came off the bench to give PW a little boost when Minnick wasn't scoring. Other scorers, Rich Zolko, 10 points, a very quiet 10. Rob Intrieri, 4 points. John Brown, 4 points, and Eric Schultz, 2, along with Keith Herbert with 1.
Okay, fine ball game, fellas. I think it was all that we built it up to be.
I think so, and I picked the winner.
All right, that's right.
You know, he wouldn't have mentioned this if Norristown would have lost tonight.
Well,
we wouldn't even heard that comment.
Of course not. Bill's 1 for 1 here. He's got PW. I won't ask you to make any predictions for the Triangle Club tournament since you're involved there as co-chairman, but we'll see how I mean, like you said, that shapes up to be a fine tournament. Norristown and Kenrick with the rematch, Souderton, Wissahickon.
You could bring Villanova in here. Can you imagine me picking anybody but Norristown?
All right, fine ball game. We'd like to thank Dan Conklin and Andre Wills for running camera tonight, Sam Galbraith for directing our production, and of course the Norristown Area School District for bringing this all to you. Alan Raleigh, Bill Werkheiser, I'm Jeff Brandon. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to join us later for more Norristown High boys basketball.